A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. It's the first one for the year, and we promise to make it worth your while. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, there's a lot to talk about. Of course, three-time World Cup winner and arguably the best player to ever play football. Edson Arantes do Nascimento, popularly known as Pele, has been finally laid to rest. And of course, that has been generating a lot of discussion in the world of sports since he died a few days ago. On the show tonight, we will be talking about him, of course, the burial and all the activities around it. And of course, another player has been generating a lot of discussion, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. He has finally sealed that move to Saudi Arabia, where he will be playing for Al Nassr, all right? And also, we'll take a look at the things happening in the English Premier League. Usually, I'm not alone on the show. My colleague, Osno Konakpan, will be joining me. And, of course, we'll also have somebody in the Lagos studio so that we can have a robust discussion around all the things happening in the fast-paced, entertaining, and money-spinning world of sports. Before I forget, there are things happening on the domestic scene. We will talk about the ladies. They will get our attention. We'll talk about the Women's League match, Week 5. Will get us talking as we move on. And also, as our usual practice, we will give you the sports calendar for 2023. And this is hoping that, of course, the people in charge will note these things, plan ahead, and, of course, avoid some of the things that we've gotten used to, some embarrassing stories that always come out, and hopefully everything will work out right for Nigeria in 2023. All right, let's move on with the show. As soon as my colleague is ready, he will join in, and we will have a smooth ride on the show. All right, and so, of course, there we go. All right, let me quickly introduce my partner in the Lagos studio while we wait for my colleague Austin Okonakman to join in. Kehinde Idris joins us now. Greetings to you, Kehinde. I think it's still okay to say Happy New Year. First time I'm saying it here.
Yeah, exactly. Very much okay. Prosperous New Year. Wishing you and, our esteemed you out there, the very best of, 2023. So still in place, and it's good to see you again in the new year.
Yeah, very good to see you. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Edson Arantes do Nascimento. We saw this coming, the sickness and every other thing. And gradually, we were getting used to the fact that this legend might be taken away from us. And when it happened, really not much of a surprise. But of course, it looked like the world has paused for this man. And it's been tributes all over. Yeah. And of course, also not surprising, the wakekeep and how he was finally laid to rest at the tallest cemetery in the world.
The story of Pele, for every turn, even till death, till being laid to rest, finds a way to steal headlines of the tabloids or even, TV programs. You mentioned the build-up to this happening. While the World Cup was ongoing, when it was rushed, it was termed emergency. But 2 days later, he came out to say,
I'm fine.
I'm fine. It's just a routine, normal monthly routine check and all of that. But when it extended beyond Christmas, it was said that this is way more serious than everybody thought. And that was the period where we started having a huge feeling. But he's fought a lot of, this battle, and he's come out winning, going back home and all of that. At a point, he said, no, I want no pity. I am Pele. I'll continue to fight. And when he came, as much as you said, it wasn't a surprise, but somehow we're still shocked. I think the shock for us is the fact that we still want to see Pele's impact every day in our football. All of the youngsters, teenagers who are busting into the scene today, find a way either meet him up in his hometown or he comes for an occasion, and 1 word, 2 words from Pele will just help you,
and pictures we have on our screen shows that skyscraper, that cemetery. I mean, what an honor has been done to Pele, and he doesn't deserve less. I mean,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
less.
The tribute from around the world and all of that, it doesn't deserve less.
And this stadium is very close to Santos, the city where he became famous. As a matter of fact, this skyscraper is overlooking the Santos stadium.
Exactly.
And everybody lined into the streets to bid their farewell to him. Like I said, it was standstill. Everybody paused. The president came, FIFA president came, the whole world came, and to pay their respects. So nobody wanted to miss this moment.
Yes, saying bye-bye to Pele. See, all of the presidents of the world have, poured their, condolence message to the family, and also every footballer. Every football lover is a Pele person. Then also, Gianni Infantino mentioning that every country should have a stadium in their country where they will name after Pele. Then also, this man, way before, so many people were born, he had finished playing football. But Pele leave his football out of the whole discussion. Being a proper ambassador of the game, I think, is something he took even to another level.
All right. I mean, we'll continue with this conversation. Let's just do this quickly. Of course, my colleague Austin Okola-Akpan joins me now. I think it's safe to say Happy New Year. This is the first time. It's been a while. First time I'm seeing you in the year. So best wishes to you, my friend. And of course, we're here to talk sports, and it doesn't get better to start with Pele.
For the great things to you, Yemi, and yes, it's appropriate to say Happy New Year. Yes, wishing you and our viewers from all over the world a sporting 2023. Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pele, what a legend, what a story, what a life of impact he lived. Yemi, I was out in the streets in London last week, and not one person had something negative to say about Pele. In fact, a lady told me that Pele is the symbol of black excellence. An Argentine told me that Pele is the heart of football. That's an Argentina. He told me, he said, look, we are core rivals with Brazil, but we love Pele. I was doing a lot of research into the life of this man, and he's just a legend through and through. I thought he did big things with football. The only player to have won 3 World Cups, scored over 1,000 goals, created magic on the field. Then I started getting into things that he did off the field. And I was wowed. And as the world mourn this legend, I still believe it's celebration of life. Let's remember him for the good things he has done. Let countries like Nigeria look back at our legends, those that have gone and those that are still here, and say, what sort of life are we giving the ones that are here? And those that have gone, for example, Rashidi Yekini, what sort of honor are we giving to them even at death? Because what I realized, telling that tribute story about Pele, is that people told me that despite his going and living this world, he's still the global face of football. And that's because of the things he did on the field and off the field. He's an absolute legend.
I agree with you. I'm going to bring Kehinde in just to take it from where you left it. Some people said it was larger than life. He made Brazil popular. And football is synonymous with Brazil. But the person that made it so is Pele. And just as we were talking, saw pictures of where he was being laid to rest to the guard tomb. You see 2 golden images of Pele in that skyscraper, in that tallest cemetery. That place is going to become a museum.
It is. It is already a museum. You see the kind of people that trooped into Brazil within days, after his demise, and lying in state, then laid to rest and all of that. Everybody just wants to catch a last glimpse of Pele. Yes, he's breathless, but you still see him right there. So people trooped in. And then year in, year out, Brazil is already, waiting to make mammoth money from, this that you just mentioned. Then, in the words of a Brazilian young player, Gabriel Martinelli, he said, whenever any club around the world signs a Brazilian, especially if you're an attacker, they want a bit of Pele in you. it's not written, but it is there. They just wanted you to show us a glimpse, flashes of what Pele had done. And there was something that Austin said, which was, what I touched on, being an ambassador. Nobody up until now had said anything negative about this man. What more role model?
Respected by all.
Respected.
Loved
What
by
more role
many.
model do you want for a sport? And other sporting icons or other sporting personnel talking about F1, basketball, and all of that, they've all come out to say, don't say he's a football icon. He is a sports icon because
football.
he transcends through everywhere. And that is what Pele stood for. The man who's got a lovely smile, his playing days was so beautiful. He had passion for the game while playing, off playing. We've seen games where Pele got so angry with probably a player or the officiating, and then you see the zeal. While not on the pitch, this is a man who is football through and through. Maybe I would say who is sports through and through. So I think already, it's a joy that I got to know something about him. It's a joy that Nigeria shared a part of Pele because he was here, even during his playing days. It's a joy that we know that he's been laid to rest, joyfully, because nobody, even those with tears, understands this man is going to a place of, joy right there. So, Pele, continue to rest in peace.
Yeah.
I know we can't talk enough. In another 30 years, we'll still be talking about Pele.
And we've already dedicated one show to Pele. I don't know if we're going to do that today again. But let me go to Austin. We all agree that he transcends the sports. I mean, there's really, he was head and shoulders above every other person in the football world. I'm very sure at the snap of your fingers, Pele, you probably struggle to remember the name of the Brazil president. I mean, that was how popular this man is. And I'm struggling to see if there's anyone left with that kind of stature in football.
Tough. Not just football, it was sports, He had a fantastic personality. I mean, whenever Pele gets involved in something, particularly a cause, he ensures that he wins with it. He had grace, there was something about Pele that was acceptance, I keep saying it. The only time I was so close to, I saw the legend from a distance. I wish I'd gone further. I wish I was daring enough to say, please take a picture or just give me a handshake. But I was fulfilled that I saw him from a distance. You need to go visit the football museum in Sao Paulo. There is a mighty, gigantic statue of Pele there, and there's a video that says, welcome. It was Pele, And before I got into the museum, I saw people running, they were running towards a vehicle, a moving vehicle that was coming towards the entrance of the museum. And someone just said, it must be Pele. And I'm like, really? Say it's only Pele that commands this sort of attention in Brazil. Gracious goodness. I was like, it's not Ronaldo de Lima. It's not Neymar. It's not Ronaldinho. It's Pele that commands this sort of attention in Brazil. And you need to see the crowd in like a minute or two. That place was filled with humans. Everyone wanting to have a glimpse of this football legend that we're mourning today, So I don't see anyone. If Muhammad Ali was still alive, I would have said yes, Muhammad Ali, because outside boxing, Muhammad Ali also commanded, some sort of respect. Yeah. But now, no, it's Pele. We had Kule Solaja on the show last week, and he said they once asked Pele if there's going to be another player like him, and he said his parents said the factory that made him is closed.
Wow.
Wow. And I totally agree, because look at this man, even at 82. Do you know? I can't, from the World Cup Italia 90 till this last World Cup in Qatar, Pele has been involved. Like, in the background, behind the scenes, organization, motivating players. We had Sunday on the show last week. He said Pele met up with him, told him about his goal that he scored at France 98 against Spain, that they are using it to make analysis on TV. It was such a divine child, and I'm so glad he lived a fulfilled life. I was talking to our colleague Juliana Olainka, and I'm saying, this man lived a life of details, that this is how to live and then die.
Yeah, and let's just touch upon this before we leave the Pele story. Ken Idris had touched upon it as well. Gianni Infantino, maybe being emotional because it was in Santos. He attended the burial, and he suggested that, look, probably every football playing country, and we're talking about over 211 countries, should name a stadium after Pele. I mean, we can't even argue if he is worth the honor. But just imagine. Do you see it happening?
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to say, like, we can't forget this man. We can't forget this name. I told you that from my reports, what I gathered was that fans are still saying Pele is the global face of football, even at death. So I understand where Infantino is coming. I met a little boy, he's just 12. He knows Pele. He told me that there's no way you wouldn't know him, that they had to go do research, that guys coming up to play football, they're going back to go and look into the life of Pele to be inspired, to be motivated. So I understand where Infantino is coming. Even Brazil, this will be a national project that will transcend, beyond the world, because Pele was beyond football. Think about it. I mean, I remember also during the World Cup, I think it was the Olympics now in 2000 and 2016 Rio, there was no time Pele was not leading a cause or charging people that are out there on the street, fighting poverty, fighting hunger, speaking for the less privileged, telling society to respect children, that are the future of tomorrow. He was doing all of these things using the name that football gave him. So yes, I totally agree. But our case in Africa, for instance, we've not honored our legends enough. So some people can jump up and say, why name a stadium after Pele when we have not even given the honor to people who brought glory to our motherland? But nobody will question what Infantino said about naming stadiums after Pele, because this guy is a legend, 100% here, and he touched lives.
Yeah.
The world felt his impact. He was out there, placed himself. Even for Africa, he was always predicting that one day Africa will win the World Cup. He loved Africa, so we love him right back. I mean, when I was still doing that report, the lady said at the time Pele came out, when he was stunning the world, that was when even the black race were considered as minors, or that we cannot create magic. And then God gave us Pele, and it changed the story. He led a revolution. He was the sparkle that the black race, that Africans needed to believe themselves and say that impossible is nothing. So leave me, I say, start with my state in Akwa Ibom, give his name to Pele.
All right, we could go on and on, but we have to move on the show, Austin. Let's talk about someone else who probably will maybe have this kind of honor later in life, and of course, arguably one of the best footballers that we've witnessed on the planet. Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. He has been unveiled by his new club, Al Nassr, in Saudi Arabia. Of course, a lot of people thought it wasn't going to go. Was it going to happen? But it has happened, and fireworks greeted his arrival. We are hearing that the club's social media handles are going crazy right about now, and we're hearing the kind of wages reported that the Portugal captain will earn. It's staggering, but of course that's Cristiano Ronaldo in your picture, and he's been talking. He's told anybody that cares to know that his career is not over as many people think, and he's been explaining. And there's also a little rumor out there, maybe Austin will help us with that if Newcastle qualifies for the Champions League, there's something in that contract that ensures he will be able to come on loan and play for Newcastle. But as of now, it's all speculation. Let's quickly listen to Cristiano Ronaldo, and we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
In Europe, my work, it's done. I won everything. I played the most important clubs in Europe. And for me now it's a new challenge, as you mentioned, in Asia. I'm glad for that Al Nassr gave me this opportunity to show and develop not only for the football, but also for the generation, the young generation, the women's generation as well, for the young boys. And for me, it's a challenge, but in the same way, I feel very, very happy and very proud. As nobody know, but I can say now I had many opportunities in Europe, many clubs, in Brazil, in Australia, US, even in Portugal, many clubs tried to sign me, but I give the word to this club for the opportunity. And I know the league is very competitive. The people don't know that as well, but I know because I saw many games. And you know what I want, and I'm looking forward. It's to play. I'm a unique player, so it's good to come in here. I beat all records there, so I want to beat a few records here as well. So for me, it's a good chance. As you say, this contract is unique because I'm a unique player as well. So for me, it's normal.
Great.
All right, welcome back, Cristiano Ronaldo. Never ceases to amaze me. I mean, just tells the story of a player who's very, very confident and sure of his abilities. I mean, look at his lines. I'm a unique player. This is a unique league. Austin is smiling, but let me get your thoughts, Kehinde, before I yield the floor to Austin. He's going to lead us through what's happening in his backyard. That's the English Premier League. But he talked about clubs, a lot of clubs wanting him. He's not motivated by what people think. He made that clear. Yeah. And he said, look, I've broken a lot of records. Yeah. And you can understand. I mean, there's nothing left for him to win. You may not like him, but you can't argue with that statement that he has won everything. Yeah. He has broken all the records that exist, and he wants to try a new challenge. Whether or not Saudi Arabia is a challenge is a different story entirely. But then, Cristiano Ronaldo telling us, I am not finished as a football player.
Yeah, I'm surprised when people think he's finished. I think maybe sometimes our memories, we live in today, some persons, because if you check the story of Zlatan, when he went to the US, it felt like he's finished. He spent 3 seasons, came back to mainstream European football, won the league with them. And Cristiano, hey, no disrespect to Zlatan, he's still a little ahead when it comes to talent and display of what you can do compared to what Zlatan can do. So Ronaldo, for me, I felt this is just like a stepping, part for him to get to another level. I have the strong belief that we'll still have Ronaldo being talked about at the highest level again, even if it's for 1 more or 2 more seasons after the whole Saudi Arabia story. He needs to cool off. He needs the whole, break from, Real Madrid to Juventus to Manchester United.
Yeah, the whole stadium packed.
Everybody.
Fireworks.
He became the face everywhere. Of the football. 200 million in wages for the entire year. That's massive. We were talking about
all of this for one player.
All of this for one player because they know the kind of player they're acquiring. Hey, I'm thinking in my head, the referees, the players that will be marking Ronaldo, will be marking him with this kind of because.
They'll probably be whispering in his ear, can I get your shirt?
Exactly. But Ronaldo is a massive player. And like you said, highest scoring player internationally, highest scoring player UEFA Champions League. This man has got the numbers to back whatever he says. When he says I'm a special player, so when I get his special reception, is worth it. Because this is me, Ronaldo.
Okay. Let's just go to Austin now. I mean, you can't begrudge Ronaldo. Whatever he says about himself, none of those things are lies anyway. But then Kehinde just said, look, forget about the money. We're still going to see this guy, maybe a season or 2. This is just him stepping away and using this as a platform to come back, and especially because players like Zlatan did it.
I think it was clear. I mean, you heard him say that my work in Europe is done. And I said it. People just don't watch this show. I said At the time he gave that interview to Piers Morgan, that Ronaldo probably has been speaking to agents from Qatar or Saudi Arabia for the money. And all this English is speaking is a unique club and all of that. The money is involved. I mean, this guy is said to receive the biggest football salary in history. The deal is worth about 177 million pounds a year. And the deal will run for 5 years, to run until 2025. Now, that's about 96 billion naira in a year for Cristiano Ronaldo. We're not talking about endorsement yet. Let me tell you the ripple effect of signing this football legend. I understand Instagram followers, it has grown by 737% in 4 days. They are close to 9 million followers now. It's a football club in Saudi Arabia. Cristiano Ronaldo just signed and they're ripping that, you know, and that's what we're talking about here. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't like the way the relationship with Manchester United went. He was hurting, I could tell, you know, because for you to sign that sort of player, don't forget, he was a United legend who still went back. He was going to Manchester City. He said the big boss, Sir Alex Ferguson, spoke to him and he said, yes, boss, I'll go back to United. And I'm sure they had agreements, you know, and they just wanted to play football. If Messi, that we're all comparing to Cristiano Ronaldo, is playing active football, you can't keep Ronaldo on the bench, you know. So when he was ready to spit out everything he said about Manchester United, I said it, that it's time to go get the $1 million. And he's getting it already, you know. He's a fulfilled guy. Al Nassr, they're like the Real Madrid of Spain. They are dominating the league in Saudi Arabia. And he has said it that, look, it's a unique club. I'm a unique player, so there's nothing, you know, different. Local media right here in England, they're criticizing Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. I hear pundits say, oh, clubs like Arsenal should have gone for Cristiano Ronaldo, that, oh, clubs such as Everton, you know, they're calling all sort of clubs in the EPL. But with what he went through with Manchester United, and he knows that the British media, they're still waiting for him. It's just best to pack your load, take your talents elsewhere, and he has chosen to go to faraway Asia, where you guys will not disturb him with any level of competition. He's just going to have fun with his football. Now he's trending. We're talking about Al Nassr because of this guy. They're getting followers. His jerseys, I'm sure, will break the entire Asian record. So Cristiano Ronaldo is having the time of his life, even before coming on air. I was listening to the local media, and they're still mourning. You know, they are still saying, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo should have stayed back in England, should have done. He has nothing to prove again. And that's why next year, if you hear Messi is going to Qatar for the big money, don't be surprised.
I wouldn't be. All right, also, let me yield the floor to you. I'm very sure you're on the show, but of course, you're monitoring what's going on. Let's talk us through what's going on, and probably we'll chip in a few things that you probably throw at us.
Yeah, big day also in the English Premier League. We're monitoring the game between Arsenal and Newcastle. That's one we still touch halftime, and it's still goalless. And that game being played at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal needs to win this one to, you know, have a commanding place on that table because of Newcastle breathing down. Everton, their goal down against Brighton. Shocking result for me because Everton needs to bounce back to winning ways, but it's just only 45 minutes played in that one. So hopefully Alex Iwobi and his team will find a way back at halftime. Another team that is struggling, one team that the media here saying that the World Cup didn't do them any good, Leicester City. Yeah, me and Ken, they remember Leicester City, they were just on their way back just before we had that World Cup break. And they came back, they lost the first game, I think drew the second, and now they go down against Fulham in the English Premier League. Manchester United won, AFC Bournemouth 0. Those are the updates coming from the English Premier League. Continue to monitor it and let our viewers know what's going on.
All right, we'll do that for our viewers. Let's also, Austin, quickly talk about the matches that will be played tomorrow. It's that period where matches coming in thick and fast. Let's quickly take a look at that. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very sure it's going to come up on the screen at any moment from now. Interesting games to look at. Southampton will be up against Nottingham Forest. Leeds will be up against West Ham. All right, that's it on your screen. Southampton will take on Nottingham Forest. Leeds take on West Ham. Aston Villa take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Crystal Palace take on Tottenham. These are the matches to expect tomorrow. And if you want to take a look at probably a Nigerian interest, you look at Nottingham Forest, a couple of Super Eagles players in that team. So wishing them all the best when they step to the field to compete against Nottingham Forest. All right. Okay, so we'll see what happens in that one. Very, very interesting. Then, of course, a lot of people will be looking at Tottenham Hotspur. Antonio Conte, his reputation, suffering a bit of a dent with what is happening to Tottenham right about now. Will he be able to turn things around? We'll see if he's able to do that. Interesting days ahead in the English Premier League. If there's anything to revert to, we will do that with regards to live results in the English Premier League. All right. So those are the things currently going on in the English Premier League. Let's come home now and talk about female football. We're actually pressed for time. Let's see how far we can go. The ladies, I've always found ways to navigate the issues.
Yeah.
The issues are there. It's a Nigerian thing.
It's always there.
But they've always found,
Yeah.
and I mean, they do deserve credit for always finding ways. And we're here talking about match day 5 in Group A and Group B.
Yeah.
Of course, the fixtures will come up on the screen, but quickly, let me get your thoughts on that quickly as you can. And I'm very sure you've been monitoring all of that. Overall, what are your thoughts about?
I think for organization getting it up and going, I think they are near perfection. Like you said, there would always be issues in everybody's life, in every setup, in every management and all. There is always situation. But how do you navigate? How do you get past issues to bring up what is? You see, the Premier League, the La Liga, and all of that, they tell you issues they battle every day. Yeah. You'll be surprised how you get something this beautiful on your TV, but they get past it, and that is what the NWFL is trying to do. Get past these issues every day, because see, the fans out there don't care how you get past those issues or if those issues are there or not. All they want to see is consistency in what you give to us. And already the discussions are ongoing on the streets because they now become a reliable league for us to say NWFL to soon start. Okay, it has started. We know they will do this and all of that. And that's the beauty. And that is why, for me, I said they are near perfection when it comes to organization and getting this to happen. March week 5. And another thing they do is they made us understand it doesn't have to be a particular number of teams. Yeah. Get the league running up until we get to that point.
Set the rules.
Set the rules.
Keep the standard.
If you cannot beat it, if you cannot be in there, just stay off. We don't have issues with you. If you can be ready next time, you will join up. But for this time, you're not ready. Just stay where you are.
These are the requirements.
Exactly.
Meet up.
It's as simple.
You don't meet up, step aside.
Don't be a barking dog. When you bark and they are not listening, bite. And that is what, the NWFL setup is doing. I thought after Aisha Falode, left for, elected seat now, the NFL, not having so much concentration on the NWFL, that would have some. But it's still same of the same. So when you set precedents, when you set things going, you will just see people key in. It will not be a case of square pegs and square hole, and everything just seems, to happen seamlessly. And that's the beauty. I put my hands together for NWFL and everything they do always.
Let's see if we can quickly get it on screen for our viewers. Let's go to the Nigeria Professional. I almost said Nigeria Professional, Nigeria Women's Football League. But we'll revert to that when we're ready. Just to let you know that 6 matches will be played across Group A and Group B, and it's match day 5. It's match day 5. When we have that, we'll give it to you. Interesting days ahead for the women. All right, So we've got to that point where we have to talk about major sporting events as our usual practice on Sports Tonight. We take a look at what is going to happen in the year, probably set the agenda for sports administrators. And so let's just quickly go through all of these things. The things that are going to happen in this year are selected major events, and of course, there's a bias. The bias as it concerns Nigeria. So you're probably not going to see the Grand Slams and all that. We're talking about Nigeria. Global sporting calendar, but with special focus on Nigeria. So there you have it. You have the Lagos City Marathon on February 4th. You have the CAF Under-20 AFCON. It's going to be held in Egypt. Preparations underway. Ladan Boso and his boys tick into preparation. CAF Under-17 AFCON in Algeria. That's going to be April 8th. 2:30. Basketball Africa League, what we call BAL. It's going to be March. FIFA Under-20 World Cup. It's going to be held in Indonesia. If we qualify, hopefully we do. May 20 to June 11. These are some of the fixture, some of the major sporting events. Let's move over. ITTF Africa Interclub Championship in Kenya, May 1st to 3rd. We also talk about the ITTF Africa Cup, also in Kenya, May 4th to 6th. You have the WTT Contenders Series. It's going to be held in Lagos, June 12th to 18. FIFA Women's World Cup to be hosted by Australia and New Zealand, July 10 to August 20. We already have a ticket for that one, so definitely we're going to be there. All right. FIBA Women's Afro Basket yet to be decided. This one takes you back to the bitter memories of the last one, but well, let's forget about that. But July 28 to August 6, all African Games to be held in Ghana, next door, not too far away. Ghana, not too far away. August 4th to 19. Let's also talk about Athletics World Championships in Hungary, August 19 to 27. You also have the FIBA Men's Basketball World Cup, Indonesia, Japan, and Philippines jointly hosting. It's going to be August 25 to September 10. All right. Still some other major sporting events that will involve Nigeria. We have the last three on our screen. ITTF Africa Para Championships to be held in Egypt, September 10 to 13. ITTF Africa Senior Championships to be held in Tunisia, September 11 to 17. And, of course, the CAF Women's Champions League is going to be held in November. And, well, the last on our list will go to CAF Under-23 AFCON. CAF Under-23 AFCON, November 2 to 26. This has always been a problem for Nigeria because we don't get the professionals to play this game. It's not on the FIFA calendar. We struggle with it. I'm hoping this is not going to be the case. Don't do well here. Your chances of getting to the Olympics is evaporates. Then the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, we hear that FIFA is saying, look, this tournament should be held every year. We'll see what happens. But for this year, it's going to be played in Peru, November 10th to December 2nd. These are the major sporting events with special focus on Nigeria for the year 2023. That's our sports calendar. And hopefully, we won't have reasons to come here to talk about Nigeria not participating in any of these events. All right, so it's going to be very interesting. All right, let's, Candy, let me get your thoughts. This calendar, it's loaded, and we're hoping that for any reason we won't miss out on this major sporting event. I'm particularly interested in that CAF Under-23 AFCON because that's where the problem usually starts.
Before you talk about
it's all over before it starts.
Yes, it's all over before it starts. And unlike you, I'm not so particular about football. I don't know. I think in recent time, all grades, from the senior to the juniors, I don't get my spirit awakened with our showing. So my energy or my, focus goes to, the basketball, the table tennis. I think in recent time, the table tennis, para, or, the normal have given us something special. And for basketball, I think the reason why I have my eyes here, Kwara Falcons, I do really want to see how they take on the rest of Africa, when that time comes. I really want to see at BAL, I really want to see that. I really want to see how we return to where we are supposed to be. Yes, we conquer Africa by D Tigers and all of that, but I want to see at club level how they hold their own against the biggest. And maybe this is the time we'll start talking about players getting drafted right from home, right from Nigeria here into places like the NBA or even European football, European basketball.
All right.
Then, like I said, the table tennis, para, and all of that. I've got my eyes on it really.
All right, let's yield the floor to Austin, who's covered a lot of these events. And first of Austin, I mean, I looked at that calendar put together by our producer, Dumnodio Konta, and I struggle to see any major event that's not on that calendar. I don't know if you noticed any.
No, particularly with the Nigerian interest, but for me, I want to see the World Athletics Championship. That will be done in August. To be a good way for us to assess the performance of our athletes that did so well. And it will be barely a year from what we saw at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham last year. So the Toby Amusa, the Chioma, the S.A. Brume, the Chikwebuka Enekweche. What is the Athletics Federation of Nigeria doing after 1 year of producing a record-breaking performance at the Commonwealth Games? It's time to start bringing in the shields, So I want to see what we can do. Are we going to consolidate or we will? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's athletics. I was going to say basketball, but they found a way to give us a very bitter story with basketball. And remember, the D Tigers, they did the tripit the last time. Yeah. So if they get into the mood and go on to win the AfroBasket for the first time, then it means that no contest in Africa. But some way, somehow, in all of these competitions on this calendar we're talking about, administration will play a crucial part in everything. Like, for instance, these dates are sacrosanct. We know they're going to happen. But somebody will find a way to tell us why some things will not work for us to go and have a good representation. And this is a story. I've been covering sports actively now for about 13 years, so 14. And this is the same story over and over and over again. So let's see if we'll do something different this year. Yeah.
I got to pause you there because our time is up. But first, of course, let me go to Austin, my colleague, to say, as always the case, time not your friend when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's okay, but I think we had fun tonight, starting off with, paying respect to whom it is due, to the legend, Pele. He'll continue to live in our hearts. Yeah, we will continue to talk about this one, but it's time to go. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Kennedy Idris, I also want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Of course, we'll do it again. It's a nice one, and it's nice to see you in the new year again.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope that you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye.